So how in the world do you take $2 and turn it into 120? Stay tuned. I'm about to tell you. Hey everybody, Patriot Picker here. My name is Chris. We're down in the eBay bunker for another episode of some items that have sold for us recently. And we're going to talk to you a little bit here in just a second about some really cool, exciting things that happened in these sales. And then we're going to close off by showing you some updates that we're making to the Patriot Picker shipping department. All right, so let's jump right in. Here we go. We've got a USA floor puzzle. This is one of those jumbo piece puzzles, and I want to show you just for reference. I want to show you how big these pieces of puzzle really are. These are for the floor, so you're going to put this whole puzzle together as on the floor. But look at the size of these pieces, guys. There's the Roadrunner from New Mexico. All right, so you can just see based on my hand size, these are pretty large. So somebody's gonna have a lot of fun with that. That's going out the door for $15 plus shipping, and this is one of those real famous Melissa and Doug branded puzzles. So you can never go wrong with these guys. Now this sucker is a little heavy. Due to the sizes of those pieces of puzzle, it's got some weight to it. So there was a little bit of shipping cost on there too. But, you know, hey, we run some sales. We're trying to get rid of our puzzles and our board games up here. And we still are running our sales right now, 10% off on all those. And, you know, they're going slow, but they're going. So we're appreciative of that. All right, so our next item up is another pair of the Liberty branded bibs, overalls, depending on what neck of the woods you guys are from. You have your own special name for them. They're vintage, and these are going out the door for $29.99 plus shipping. How many of you watched my last video? If you did, you saw where I talked about the 2 consignments that we're working on. What was the first one? Yes, that's right. It's the Tag Team Duo, and the Tag Team Duo is the consignment we're working on, which consists of all clothing with the Commonwealth Picker. And we had another item sell from that, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what that is. It is a brand new Michael Vick Falcons jersey with the tag still on it, and that's going out the door for $36.99 plus shipping. And just a little bit of an update for you on the Tag Team Duo. The last time we updated, we were at $173.93, and then we sold this jersey, and that's bringing us up to, I believe it's $210.92 now. So we're making some progress, and we're putting a dent in these old clothes, and, well, not necessarily old clothes. Some of them are new clothes, and trying to get these out the door quickly and get that consignment done. Okay, now what do I always say? I save the best for last. That's right, I save the best for last. I attempted to do a separate video on what I'm about to talk to you about. And if you're in the YouTube videoing adventure like I am, I didn't know what to call it. I'll just call it an adventure. You'll know that what I'm about to say is very true. You know how when you go to make a video, sometimes you just really can't find the words. You edit and you keep going back and trying it again, and it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's the timing. Things aren't working out in the videoing, and you run into all kinds of technicalities, and so you just kind of go, well, okay, I give up. We'll save this for another time. It doesn't seem right now. And that happened to me a couple of weeks ago. And now I am doing this video. I am covering this topic now in this episode. All right. So in the beginning of the video, you saw where I said, how do you take $2 and turn it into 120. Well, the way you do that is you have to find, obviously, multiple items of the same thing. And you've seen me talk about these before. You've seen me on Instagram selling these. And here we go. We are finally, officially down to the last set of these Paper Mate Black Pearl erasers. We had 4 brand new sets still wrapped up that we got in a Goodwill. And we paid $2 total for all of them. And each set, guys, sold for $30 a piece for $120 profit. Now, I remember when I was trying to make this video, one of the things that I wanted to start off with is say this. Whenever you watch my videos and I mention something like this, I want you to understand that the purpose and point of sharing this is not to brag. I'm going to say that again. Not to brag. This has not got anything to do with being arrogant, being cocky. This is all about one thing and one thing only. I want you to follow my train of thought. If you, sitting where you are watching this video right now, if there was something very specific that you were trying to get your hands on that you could not find in any store because they were discontinued and no longer sold anywhere, like these erasers, and you wanted them really, really bad, what would you do to try to find them? And what price would you pay to get a set? And the whole point here is that there are folks out in the world who want something that is no longer available, and when they find somebody that has it, they're willing to pay whatever the price might be. It's called capitalism. We love it in our country. I can set the price. I can do comps. I can determine what I think these are worth because they're discontinued, and I'm getting them to a buyer at a good price. And I think that's very important for us to think about as resellers is this isn't a competition about who can make the most for an item. If you're in it for that reason, you're in it for the wrong reason. I'm here to tell you that there's nothing to brag about. These are going to somebody who really needs them and wants them. And I'm doing the providing. So why am I talking about the fact that we took $2 and turned it into $120? Because if you're not a reseller and you're thinking about getting involved in reselling, this is the kind of stuff that happens. And I want you to be aware of it, okay? I'm going to shut up talking about these. But be on the lookout for Paper Mate Black Pearl erasers. Okay, so what I've done now is I've flipped the camera around and I've brought you over to my shipping table. This is where, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit to show you how great and organized I am. Look at that wonderful organization. And if you have not ever seen anything like this before, guys, please get a hold of me and let me teach you how important it is to organize your shipping table. And if you sense a little sarcasm in my voice, that's because I'm being very sarcastic. This is a total wreck. And this is the way I usually run my business on the shipping table. So anyway, let's get to the point. So right over here on the right, you see I use a laser printer that's Wi-Fi. It's how I print my shipping labels and how I print most everything that I need to print is done with this HP laser printer. And I used to use a inkjet printer, and that cost so much ink. So I went to this thinking that this would be even more cost effective and could do a lot more printing. And even though it has, it is doing something else that I want to explain to you right now. Okay, so what I have in front of me, I have my tape gun, I have a piece of paper, and I have one of these. When you print a label off, you get this slip underneath it, and you can see where I've cut the actual label off the top there, okay? So what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about some changes I've made in my shipping here and the reasons why. Now, forgive me for holding the camera with a selfie stick and trying to film this. I'm doing the best I can. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get involved here. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to grab my tape gun, and I want to talk to you about tape real quick. I go through a lot of tape. If you are a reseller, you probably go through a lot of tape as well. But what I have found out by using this system here, which is the printer, paper, tape gun, paper here, and this handy dandy pair of cutters. Oh, those are scissors. Yeah, scissors. Is this. I spend a lot of time and a lot of resources. When the label comes out, I cut the label off of the piece of paper, and then I take the piece of paper and I stick it up here, get it out of the way, whatever. And then what I end up doing is taking those handy dandy pair of scissors and I trim out the label, because as you guys know, there's stuff around the label that you don't necessarily need when you ship. And I cut that sucker down as short as I can get it, so that I can get it onto boxes sometimes, because some boxes are pretty small and you need to be able to get the label on there, obviously. So what's been happening is I have discovered that I am doing a lot of extra work and using a lot of paper, resources, lots of tape, because once I get the label on the box, then I use the tape gun and go around the label with a bunch of tape, 1 strip, 2 strip, 3 strip, 4 strip, 5 strip, 6 strip, 7 strip, 8 strip, 9 strip. And before you know it, my tape roll is almost gone, and I'm spending a lot of money on tape. So here's what I've done, and we're going to zoom over to a different area now. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you, this is the scale that I have been using in my reselling business. It's from the USPS. It is a 25-pound scale that is USB, okay, all right, and that is a problem because on my MacBook Air, I only have 2 USB ports, one here, one on the other side, and on the other side, I use a wireless mouse, which takes up that USB port, and then over here, I'm plugged into my scale, so I have no USB ports other than those 2, okay? Now, what I have decided, after doing some extensive research and talking to some other resellers, I've decided that I could save some money and some time and shipping expenses if I were to switch up my method of printing labels. And so what I have done is I have purchased a new scale, and I haven't taken it out of the box yet, so you're seeing it the first time I'm seeing it. It's called the Accutech, and it is a 110-pound scale. It's got the way to plug it in with batteries and an AC adapter, okay, rather than using USB. And now I can have that extra USB port if I need it on my computer. And this is also digital, by the way. This Accutech scale is digital, all right? And you can see right there, digital postal scale. And then I also, woo-hoo! Now this isn't the Rollo, but these are the Rollo labels, because yes, I did order a Rollo thermal printer, guys, and it's not here yet, but it's going to be really soon. And I'm super excited because now what I can do is I can print a label out, and it's a sticky label. So I just peel it off and stick it on the box, and I don't have to worry about using tape, cutting paper, and any of this stuff. So here's the cool thing about being a reseller. Once I do that and I get my setup, I can then take this printer and this scale and list them on my store and flip them. And I can try to get some profit back out. So it's just a turnaround is all it is. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that real quick and show you why I'm making the switch. And we're selling more now. Our sales are increasing by the month. And so we're going to need a quicker, more efficient way. And that's what life's all about, is making things as smooth as possible and as easy on yourself as possible, and save money at the same time. And just to let you know, I hope you got something out of that, because there's lots of questions going back and forth about what type of equipment that new resellers should invest in. And, the question would probably be to me right now, if you were starting out for the first time, would you get a Rollo printer, or would you go to what you had, or just use what you have? I recommend that you always start with whatever you can, because when you first start off, you're not selling as much. And so you don't want to be going out and investing in a huge number of items that you're going to use for your store or for your business, and then find out that you're kind of in debt for a while until you can pay everything back off. If you have a printer already, just use what you have until you reach a certain point where you can get, a good enough investment in what you're doing, and then you can go and you can buy the better equipment. And so we were fortunate enough to be able to, for the month of April, it's been so good to us that we were able to, meet every need we had, and then have a little surplus. And so that's why we decided to go ahead and move forward to the new printer. So anyway, that's going to conclude this video. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're safe, and keep your hopes and prayers up that we open up for business soon in the country, because all of us are chomping at the bit to get out there and do some sourcing. So anyway, Patriot Picker signing out, and we'll catch you guys again when? That's right, on the flip side.